could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could. Yeah, and times are changing everywhere. Do we dream and do we dare? It's up to you, the door is open wide. Feel the rhythm of today, learn a part and join the play. The world is here, let's take it for a ride. You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could. Larger, larger than, bigger, bigger than, living hopes and dreams. Every boy and girl, higher, higher than, brighter, brighter than, all you wanted, and you know.
It's a brand new season. Welcome to 2018, and what a place to start after a brilliant 2017. Although we had one little blotch on our paper, and apparently it's what you see in front of you. So we're going to see if we can sort that out for you quickly.
Hi, and welcome to coverage of the EV Dynamics Inland Championship. And yes, things look a little bit different this season. My name is Nicole Kappa, and as your new host, I'm going to be asking the questions that you want answered this racing season, chatting to category reps and racing drivers. In the studio with me is Michael Broom, Justin and Devin Robertson, and they're going to be chatting to us about their plans for the 2018 season. But before we catch up with them, let's chat to our new headline sponsor for 2018, EV Dynamics, and our day sponsor, Amtech.
At EV Dynamics, we are proud to be the headline sponsor for the Inland Championship for 2018. At EV Dynamics, we manufacture and convert electric vehicles. This year, we saw the synergy with motorsport. We've got 6 cars on the track. And yeah, let's have fun and grow the sport together, and let's see where it takes us.
Amtech does sponsor the event, as usual, for the last couple of years. And then on a more personal note, we do also get involved with some of the racing teams as well. We like to develop certain products, especially for the South African conditions.
For sure, this is a new dawn for the EV Dynamics Inland Championships, and exciting times ahead. Michael, Bridgestone BMW Club Racing Series will also race with other categories this year, like Extreme Championship and Historic Tour. Tell us a bit more about that and your plans for 2018.
It's not just Historic Tour and Extreme Festival. We made a change this year to go back to what we used to do, where we race on our own events, and then we do our other rounds with other championships like Inland Championship, Historic Tour and Extreme Festival and so on. And we've done that because that brings back a lot more the social aspect we were so famous for. Also, a lot of guys that do our time trials want to see what happens with the racing up close, maybe try it out, and doing it on one of our days is not quite as serious as a regional championship day, etc. So I think it's going back, but it's going back for the right reasons, and I think we'll have a much better year that way.
Justin, Motul NPCs has a new racing format for 2018. Can you tell us more about that format?
Look, Midvaal was a series sponsor with us in 2017. They've decided to be a title sponsor for 2018, so they've upped what they're doing and upped their involvement. In 2017, they gave us a very nice prize of 2 guys winning a trip overseas to the Le Mans. This year, what their emphasis is making people more aware of the products that they do. So they'll be a lot more involved supplying products to competitors, giving handouts, giving things to the guys. To go with that, what we've done is we've made some rule changes to make a time-based series that accommodates a lot more of the cars that weren't being used, cars that were outclassed or weren't competitive anymore according to the modifications that were done. So I think this change and the fact that we've got a new title sponsor puts us in a nice footing for the year.
Now Devin, it's always exciting watching the INEX Legends race. Can you tell us what's in store for Legends in 2018?
Well, basically, it's the same as last year. We have the same sponsors as last year, Liquimoli, AutoZone, Rubro. They're just there to help us with the sponsorship, to pay for TV coverage, to make the racing better for everybody. Hopefully we can do a lot more this year with better branding, better exposure for the sponsors, and to make everyone's racing a lot easier.
Thanks, guys. We will be right back after the break to bring you highlights of the races from Midvaal. Jan Everstein will defend his BMW Championship in a new car and a new class. Let's see if it pays off.
Thanks, Nix. Yes, indeed. Everstein in a brand new car, the #1 car in Class B. He's going to be the man to catch this season and see if anybody can take that #1 plate away from him. Other changes, Lorenzo Gottieri, of course, is out of his car, and David Kutsia jumps into that machine. So should be pretty competitive right from the word go. As they start to roll out now for race #1, keep an eye out as well with Willie Erasmus jumping into that car on the right-hand side of the track, left-hand side of your screen, about 4th place. It's the old car that was driven originally by Rian Wust, and he's now in Viking and Big Boss colours. And the second Viking car getting a little bit out of shape through turn 1. Remember, we're going the opposite way around here at Midvaal, so it's slightly different lines and different braking markers that the drivers got to try and remember. In the mid-pack, it's already starting to get real, as you can see. And no holds barred here at all. And Shane Krobler diving on the inside in the Mayfair gearbox car, trying to make his way through. That BMW is very quick. And now as they get onto the back straight, this is where things really get to show what these cars can do. It's everything they've got, probably 5th or 6th gear depending on the boxes that they're running, and probably going to be close to the 280k an hour mark if you're in the top classes with those turbos. Coming through, looks like Erasmus under a bit of pressure there right from the word go, and is that the #1 car? I think it might be, who's starting to come into the mix there. Just in the background, keep an eye on it as we come flying through into what was normally turn 1 and 2, and now becomes the final corners at Midvaal. Completing lap #1. There we go, back into that mid-pack battle once again. As you can see, the Bridgestone car, the 000 car there. Oh, Bernard de Gavea making some moves there on Wadley. Wadley losing out. De Gavea bringing that Bridgestone car through the field rapidly. This Bridgestone BMW Car Club Racing Series is growing bigger and better every single year. And as you can see now, over 30 competitors on track at the same time. Morne Fasaki closing in there on the 317. And it's not a bad effort there from Matt Wadley. First time out for him, and looking like he could potentially be a front runner in Class D. Change up between Erasmus. Oh, Willie Erasmus is fighting hard there, and Paulo Lerao eventually just squeezing him out and getting around the outside of him at the end of the straight. But you can see that Erasmus is not going to give this one up without a fight. He comes straight back at him and looks for an opportunity. New colours, as I said, on that car, running in Rian Wust's old machinery, but with Big Boss backing, as always. Long season campaigner for the Big Boss team. Further back there, you can see 86 and 96 going at it, and 20 marks, and Sean Lamprecht. And, oh, good move there, sneaking through on one of the back markers, trying to just put that back marker between himself and the car behind. But the 86 and 96 battle continues as they come through the sweepers now, heading towards that big back straightaway. Oh, very close. Awesome to see this kind of action, and this is exactly what we expect all season long. The third Viking car there, the 96 machine of Lamprecht. Oh, a little bit out of shape, and he's followed in sympathy from the car just behind. Here we go, back to that battle with Erasmus. Look at how he is having to push here. Loreo, left, right, center, trying to find a way through there. Can he do it as they come up on the back marker? Blue flag waving, one goes left, one goes right. Erasmus has gone to the right-hand side of the circuit, and it's the right line to be on if you're into this first turn. But of course, into turn 2, it turns out to be the wrong line. You've got to try and drive around the outside. This is a very long left-hander. It would be a right-hander if we went the normal way around, and you can see how cars are getting out of shape. No fear, no limits, no equal. Well, that's what Leroy reckons. But right now, it's Erasmus who is all over the back of him and trying to just outgun him. They are very evenly matched, these two M3s. And as they head up to that little back straightaway, when I say little back straightaway, it's over a K long. Whew, incredible stuff. Further down the field, there we go. Jimmy T, we haven't seen much of him, but he's now in a little bit of a fight there, as you can see, with the RSI BMW of Craig Ball. And Craig Ball dives on the inside into the left-hander. But Jimmy T is, well, he's been around this track a couple of occasions, so he'll certainly know where to place that SA safe car of his. Also running in Big Boss colours. A long-term campaigner as well for the Big Boss team. And now holding on. But he opens up the door. Wow, big mistake there. Craig Ball will make him pay. Jimmy T having to go a long way around as they get onto the back straight. Ball now takes up one position. Of course, with that wing, hopefully he doesn't hinder him too much. You can see Jimmy T without the wing is able to close right up into the slipstream. He's going to be good enough on the brakes? No, he's not quite there. just not able to use the slipstream effect. And in fact, he's outgunned himself. Running wide, and Ball did the same thing. Wow, the two of them were so late on the brakes that they made a big mistake and nearly went crashing into our cameraman's car. The AfriWave car out front, though, is the man they've all been trying to catch all day long. And you can see Jules Familiaris has got this one in the bag. Checkered flag waiting. The turbo class is going to go to him ahead of George Estrella. A great effort there from Paulo Leroux to beat out Willie Erasmus and Jan Everstein. It's Antoine Marks who takes Class C, and Warren Dodd beating out Gauteri and Hilligen there for the Class Ds.
So I'm actually extremely happy. I'm like even out of breath. Really pushed me. He also drove an awesome race. He's a very good like driver. Power race, it was amazing. Awesome.
Nuwe kars vir nuwe uitdagings. Vir my was dit baie lekker en vir Paulo hulle bietjie net saam met hulle te kan ry. En ek voel ons sal hierdie jaar moet aanvat met alles wat ons het, maar baie dankie aan hom Edwin wat die kar gegee het en Big Boss aan hom voorberei. Dit is vir my baie awesome wees. Dankie.
Okay, Willie Erasmus doesn't look like a kid anymore with that beard, but he's certainly going like an absolute seasoned campaigner. Certainly the one to watch out for in that mid-pack as he comes through turn one, right on the tailpiece there, once again, of the man he battled with all race one. And now trying to go around the outside and just lose out to Leroux ever so slightly. But the two of them having to come from the back of a pack of cars that are very competitive. Looking for ways through. As you can see, Everstein just diving in left, right, centre. That new car of his certainly looking good, and definitely in with a shot of maybe running at the front end as he gets to grips with it. Oh, looks like a bit of smoke coming from one of the cars there. Either Craig Ball or maybe Shane Krobler off the circuit completely. The Black Knight, unfortunately, just being shown the way around and having to resume in about 4 or 5 positions back from where he was. Now as they head down that back straight away. Look at this. Willie Erasmus in the slipstream of 2 cars, but he can't use it because, as you can see, just squeezing out there, Andreas Meyer just hung onto that inside line and would not open the door. So I'll have to be looking for another opportunity to get through as they come back into the twisty section now. It's a triple left-hander into a very tight right-hander that takes them onto the main straightaway. And there you go. That's Ball falling by the wayside. Willie Erasmus going through on the RSI car. And it looks like the Viking machine starting to make its way further up the field. 25, unfortunately, out there. Problems there for Oz Bagioni, parked on the side lane. The pull man, unfortunately, out of this one. Here comes Krobler, late on the brakes, but smoking into turn one. That might be a concern for a bit later on. We'll have to watch that Mayfair gearbox car. It looks like there might be something terminal on that machine. You can see every time he comes onto the accelerator, there's a big puff of white smoke. And there'll be a concern as well for, of course, the man with the #1 plate. As you can see, Everstein all over the back of him. And he'll be wondering what is going on with that car. And he'd just like to get it out of his way. And that's what he's going to do now as he goes into this big left-hander that takes them onto the back straight. Krobler runs wide, opens up the door, and Leroux sneaks through as well. In the background, how is that for great camera work? 3x3 BMW M3s coming onto that back straight away. Krobler's got great pace, as you can see, but just concerned about the amount of smoke coming out of that car. He's just able to use a little bit extra down there, and looks like Leroux is going to try something here as they go into the left-hander. He gets through on Everstein. Everstein hangs on for now, but Jan Everstein may be waiting for someone else to go and have a go here at Shane Krobler. Doesn't want to be the protagonist who puts Shane Krobler into possibilities of making mistakes. And there's one. Wow, great bit of maneuvering there. The combined car just squeezing onto the inside, and unfortunately Krobler saw him coming and slammed the door shut. Everstein, Leroux fighting hard behind Shane Krobler. Just behind them, looks like there might be a change-up for what about 5th or 6th place. There you go, eventually Paulo Leroux in the combined racing TuneTech BMW squeezes through. And is he going to force Shane Krobler into a mistake? Yes, he is. He eventually puts Krobler, and it looks like Krobler's got a problem now. Yeah, Krobler definitely slowing down there. Whatever that issue was is now becoming a hindrance. Let's see what it's like on the straight. The straight is where he seemed to have the power stall. It looks like it might be some kind of mechanical mistake that's happening on that car that is causing him to just drop by and out of contention. Yet again, some more cars go flying through there. The 4-car for Saki, and Tony Marks and David Kutsia coming through there in the very first time in his car. Remember, he's just taken over that car from Lorenzo Gutteri. 3x3 as they go through the left, and now 2x2 out of the right-hander, coming back onto a short lefty. Whew, man, it's so close. So close. Good maneuver there from Erasmus, getting his way through on the 4-car of Morne Fasaki, and Fasaki now under attack. Out front, no worries at all for our leader, but in the mid-pack, continued battles right the way through. And as you can see, it doesn't stop there. Warren Dodd fighting with Cochran and Salvi Gualtieri. Gualtieri first time out in Class D there, looking good. And the Class D battle actually is one of the best on the track. We've got 5 cars very evenly matched. So as you can see, whatever they've done to sort out the power differentials of these cars and the way that they're going to work for Class D is definitely working. It's not working right now though. As you can see, slowing up very dramatically there. Macros with some problems. The 27 car flying through is Hilligen. He's already got a podium, so looking for another one here in Class D. Let's go back a little bit higher up in the field, and as you can see, the 4 car of Morne Fasaki under attack. David Kutsia is all over the back of him. Kutsia looking for a way through. It's a long way around there, but if you keep it right, you've got the inside line for the next turn, and in fact, that is some great driving. The downforce of that rear wing helping the BMW get through that turn, and of course with no wing on the blue car, some problems there for Morne Fasaki. He wasn't able to get the grip that was available to Kutsia on the outside. Kutsia runs a bit wide, but you can see he's just lining up to try and get the drive onto that back straight. And close down on the cars just ahead of him. Well, once again, it's Julian Familiaris who has literally dominated at the front end, has not been troubled by anybody, and is going to take 2 wins out of 2 starts here today at Midvaal. Paulo Leroux incredibly hung on for 2nd place, but look at this battle to finish things off here. This is the mid-pack. And there's a couple of back markers being thrown into some Foster cars coming through here. Jimmy T is leading this whole pack out. Craig Ball trying to get through the pack as well, as you can see there in the mid-pack in that RSI car. And bits of BMW coming off on a couple of those cars. This is the final lap for these guys. And there are, what's there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 cars. Unbelievable stuff. This is what Bridgestone BMW Car Club Racing Series is all about. And this is where you want to come start racing if you have got an old BMW that you want to come throw around a racetrack. Definitely an opportunity to get some great racing and an awesome amount of fun. Jimmy T looks like he might just be able to keep out the pack. Yes, he is. And Craig Ball, he's going to come through there. And probably not too happy with down in 12th place overall. But in terms of the Class Bs, he didn't make it onto the podium. There's your podiums. It's Familiaris in the Class Ts. He wins out overall. Paulo Leroux taking it from Everstein and Meyer. Marks, Temegliou and Lamprecht taking the Class Cs. Dodd, Cochran and Gotteri finish up in Class D.
Yes, I'm very happy because of my mishap in race 1. So I just had to make it up and just put my head together, have a bit of good strategy, and then just keep the car on the track.
Motul MPC was dominated by Hondas last year. Could we see a new manufacturer in the lead in 2018?
Well, next, highly unlikely. The way things have gone in this class over the last couple of seasons is basically a battle between the Golfs and the Hondas. EV Dynamics with a couple of new drivers, including Keegan Pottis, who joins them for the first time.
We've done lots of prep work on the car. We're now sponsored with EV Dynamics and Motul. We've done a lot of body work to the car to make it look better and fix it up a bit. And some performance modifications as well at the same time, but mostly to improve reliability for the car. But yeah, we're very, very excited about the new sponsorship and to be with EV Dynamics. So we're hoping it's going to be a very good season for us.
I can tell you there's one reason Keegan Pottis joined that team. The hot Brolly babes. And F1 can just eat my shorts when we talk about them. Here we go down into turn 1 though. The Motul MPC is great to have Motul on board for the first time here as part of MPC's new sponsorship. As they head into turn 1, you can see once again it's literally Golfs, Polos and Hondas at the front end. We have got that little Ford, and there you can see Charles Derrick giving us a great shot. Thank you very much for that, Charles. Of Franco de Mato's Ford Laser as they go through the twisties. And Derrick trying to find a way through early on. Hasn't quite got the start he wanted. As you can see, just going on the right-hand side, keeping it real. But Franco de Mato not giving him any room to breathe and goes immediately on the defensive. Derrick in some new colors as well. Not running in the traditional Harlequin colors that we used to see him in. Maybe that light blue and that baby blue is going to help him out for this season. Golfs and Hondas in full flight down that back straight away for the first time. The Polo coming through there of Rowan Ehlers. Ehlers looking tasty, possibly in with a shot of getting onto that podium overall as well. Great dive on the inside there, squeezing out Franco de Mato. Looks like Ibrahim Peck having some fun and games as well as he comes into the mix. But it's such a great field of cars. 25 of them in total out on track for the first running here of this newly sponsored Motul MPCs. The modified production car has been running for a long, long time, and they've had bits and pieces of sponsorships here and there, but great to have a good brand like Motul on board. Derrick with some problems diving into the pit lane. I kind of thought that car wasn't firing like it usually does. So he pulls into pit lane for a quick checkup to make sure that the car's okay. Hopefully he'll be able to get back out on track. Well, here we go, back into this little mid-pack battle. This is just outside the top 10. And look at the way Shane Kruin is going here. Absolutely side by side with McKay, Don McKay, and those two Black Golf 1s. Very evenly matched as they get onto that back straight away. There's a little Toyota coming from the back end as well they have to keep an eye on, that's for sure. That car certainly has got some great pace and will definitely be in with a shot as if it can get up to this little pack of cars. Being led out at this stage by the Polo. And not much in it between those two Golf 1s and the Polo. The difference there, of course, is going to be in the aerodynamic package, which, of course, is available on the Polo. Golf 1's a little bit more brick-like, so they're going to battle through the air, where the Polo will find it a bit easier. But especially if they're battling like this, they're not going to make any inroads onto that Polo. McKay and Kruin going at it. Dirk Lyons looking for an opportunity for the lead here and trying to get up to the front end. He's not quite on the same pace as Keegan Pottas, but he's definitely looking for a shot of making it onto the overall podium. Never mind onto Class A's podium if he can make it there. But that's a good move and gets through on Ellis. So the JDM tuning Honda Ballard makes its way slightly higher up, exactly where he kind of used to play the entire of last season, and there's definitely a man to watch out for because, of course, he's the man who took the overall championship last year. Coming across the line, very, very evenly matched between those two cars, but you can see up front, you just saw a shot of Keegan Pottas going into turn 1 as 2 and 3 came out of the final turn, so there's got a little bit of work to do to catch up on there. Let's have a look on board here with Shane Kruin. He's working hard, he's diving on the inside as he got through on Gosman. He has. Makes one little maneuver slightly higher up, so Kruin and Gosman still going to fight it out till the flag. And I think Don McKay will just wait and see and pick up the pieces if anything goes wrong. Great maneuvering here from Dirk Lawrence, but it's Dalton who's starting to make his way rapidly through the field. We saw him coming through earlier on, and the Extra Shoes Golf is definitely on with a shot of getting ahead of that Honda. It certainly seems to have a little bit more pace than what we're seeing out of Dirk Lawrence. Let's see if Dirk Lawrence can keep him at bay. Ellis also sitting in the sidelines and waiting for something to go wrong between those two. He'll just pick up the pieces if anything does. There goes Dalton diving on the inside. Wow, no contest whatsoever. Dalton just with that little bit of extra pace, little bit of extra coming out of the turbo, and unfortunately the Honda just not having an answer. So we've got a Honda out front, a Golf in second. We've got a Honda in third and a Golf in fourth. Well, Nicole, exactly what we expected, unfortunately. Hondas versus Golfs here in NPCs. Couple of Polos still fighting hard, as you can see in this, about halfway through the field, and just squeezing out on the Polo there. Paul Simon making his way past Peck as they go through turn 1. Because Peck, in a normally aspirated Polo, it's a turbocharged 1.8 Golf that's out in front, which is why he's got that little bit of extra squirt. A little Lotus 7 thrown in for the good measure too, just in the mid-pack, as Potter starts to get in amongst the back markers. Now this is where things get a little bit more difficult. You've got to have your wits about you and get those passes done wherever you can. Fortunately, he's got a long back straight with oodles of power available to him, and that's why he's able to get through. Final car is going to go flying past there just as he crosses the line and takes the checkered flag for the race 1 win in the Motul NPCs. A great effort from Dalton. He's going to come through for second place, but let's catch up with third place, Dirk Lawrence.
Didn't qualify too well as usual. Golf's got ahead of me, but pushed hard, managed to get past them, and yeah, just capitalized on it and see if we can do it in the second race. Looking forward to it.
Qualifying, I didn't think it would go as good, but yeah, yes, what an awesome race it was, and yeah, I'm glad with the outcome.
Here we go, race 2. Oh, Pottas off the line, getting the rest of them sleeping ever so slightly. Diving through for second place, really onto Ellis. Looks like Dirk Lawrence does not want to play with anybody else other than that Honda of Keegan Pottas out front. Because it's going to be a difficult task to try and catch him. He's got slightly better pace. Ellis at the moment in second. There you can see Dalton starting to close up. Great start from him. And then right behind is Ian Ellis, who's now fighting off 2 of the Golf 1s right on his tail. Paul Simon is one of them. 28 car squeezing through there as well, looking for a chance. Valdo Swiggers, much better start from him. Paul van Niekerk just behind that. And look at Pottas. His ability to get down that back straightaway that much quicker allows him to pull that much gap, even though they're only halfway through lap number 1. Oh, it looks like Simon is not holding back. He wants to go there with Dalton. Close down on Ellis and Lawrence. Lawrence staying with Ellis at this stage, allowing him to get away in that Golf 1. Definitely wants to improve and stay up on the podium overall. In the background, Paul Simon under a bit of pressure, as you can see, and the pressure is starting to be felt as he already starts to get a little bit squirrely. Ian Ellis all over the back of him, then it's Van Niekerk. This is a great battle here. Rowan Ellis in the Golf 1, FEC sponsored, of course his fellow stablemate, but further back there in the Polo, also fighting with some Golf 1s. So it's kind of indicative of how this racing happens. And there's a late bit of braking. Can he make it stick? Wow, that's great driving coming out of your champion. Very late brakes just to get through and now try and get away. And the reason why he wants to get away, he can see Dalton's coming. The extra clothing and shoes golf certainly on a charge and got through pretty rapidly, having to start a bit further back than what he would have liked, I'm sure, in race number 1. Paul Simon now closing in on Ehlers, Simon and Dalton. 3 Golf 1s, very, very evenly matched. All 3 trying to work together to close down on the JDM tuning Honda of Dirk Lawrence. Lawrence has been caught. Now it's just a case of can he be passed. That Golf of Dalton looking very, very good. Very good there from Dalton. Into this mid-pack now once again, as we can see. You can say King Kenny Darragh fighting hard. And of course the Grange workwear car on his tail. That being driven by Wayne Pereira this weekend. So not quite what we'd expect from that car. I know that Luke McGregor would love to be in that car. Let's see if he's able to get it all right and come back and fight a bit later on. But the fighting continues. Yes, indeed. Well, the Deltec batteries Ford Laser having some big problems from Giles Darragh. Darragh all over the back of him. Darragh, good to see that car back on track after some issues in race number 1, which caused him to pull into the pit lane. And he goes with the Italian Stallion. That's not a bad move, diving on the inside. And Paul Verias getting a big welcome to the Motul NPCs there from 2 very, very good drivers. Speaking of good drivers and good driving, Dalton is working that extra shoes golf beyond the limit. You can see the understeer as he went into the left-hander there. Just trying to get it all right. He's got the inside line. He's got the drive. And it looks like he might have it. Yes, he's got it. Getting through on the inside, under braking. At the end of the straight, he gets 1 position up there on Dirk Lawrence. Lawrence is not going to let that slide. He's going to come straight back at him and try and return the favour if he can. You'll have to keep an eye on the rearview mirrors every now and again, but there's just enough breathing space there, I think, to keep Ehlers at bay for now. That's if Rowan Ehlers can't find something special in this next lap. Only a couple of laps to go for these guys now as they head into the closing stages of this race. And as you can see, battles continue. King Kenny under pressure there from the Italian Stallion. And also just showing the way around, as you can see, some sideways action coming from those cars. The laser dives on the inside. Kenny Darragh opens up the door, but he'll have the inside line for the next turn if he can just keep it around the outside. What a fantastic battle. 2 Golf 1s, a little Honda Ballard, and that Ford Laser. It looks like, unfortunately, the Toyota parked on the sideline there, and Nico Ferrari out of this one. Darragh versus Darragh. Who's going to take that one? I'd like to be in the car if they're going home and see who's going to take the trophies out of those 2. Charles and Kenny going at it. And the Polo just behind of Verias right in the mix. Well, the Italian Stallion's late on the brakes. He dives on the inside of the Ballard and finds a way through, but then the 2 Golfs still at each other's throats. This time out though, it's Giles who heads up Kenny coming into the twisties. Very, very good driving there from Giles Darragh. In fact, he's left his dad a little bit by the wayside there since he dived through. And you can see now having to fight out with that little Honda. Very, very close stuff. As you can see, Peck having to just keep them all at bay. Ishmael Peck just fighting hard at this stage and looking for opportunities wherever they are. Look at that. Giles Darragh just following the Italian Stallion's line, and both of them getting a little bit sideways as they went through turn 1. Around the outside and into the inside of turn 2 and 3. That's where Giles Darragh makes his move. He gets up ahead of the Italian Stallion. And Franco won't be happy about that one. He made a big mistake and opened up the door. No worries at all though for Keegan Pottas. 2 wins out of 2 starts. Overall results there go to Keegan Pottas and Adrian Dalton for Class A. Dirk Lawrence takes it from Ehlers and Simon. It's the Nico Ehlers and Swiggers and C's. And Demeter, Darragh and Darragh for the Class D's.
Our racing was excellent. I mean, I qualified 9th on the grid. And I came through, I think first heat, I think I finished second, first or second, I don't know. With the inversions, we don't know what's happening, but I think it was there. Then on the second heat, I landed up at the back of the grid, reverse grid. And I tell you, I had so much fun. It reminds me of the old days of coming from the back of the grid to the front, you know. We had an awesome race. I mean, that little Giles Darragh there, he just gave me a hard time all the way. But it came out, we were clean. This is what motor racing is all about, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Oh man, I had to fight for that. Uncle Franco is an old dog, but let me tell you, you got to fight for that position. Was some close calls, but yeah, Uncle Franco, what a race, man.
Coming up next, highlights from the Motul Super Saloons.
Super Saloons in the house now. Not a big field just yet, but a couple of guys that have sort of jumped between the different categories available here in South Africa. And they're going to be racing in both the Inland Championship and the Extreme Festival. Great to see, though, a couple of usual contenders out the front end. And definitely going to be in for a great race, as we always are here with Super Saloons. It's the two rotary-powered machines heading down into turn number 1, though, that lead things out. Marius Jacobs and Marius Jackson. Action Jackson going to look for a way through early on. That TT of his will certainly be looking to be a little bit higher up than what he is right now. Keep an eye out on Briet. Briet not getting the start he wanted, that is for sure, but he's certainly going to have to work hard now as the space frames start to come into play. It's 1 to 4 for space frames. Then that big 300Z diving on the inside, trying to find a way through early on, and he has to try and find a way through early on, otherwise there's going to be problems later on. The 98 car of Darby Farie finding out just how big that car is as it comes flying past. Jackson now starts to come onto the back straight to look for a chance if he can. And he's going to dive into the slipstream of the big 300Z. Briet just helping him out a little bit, and it has definitely helped him because he's moved through and got past 2 of those space frame cars. So now they sit in 2nd and 3rd. 4th place still up for grabs though. Side by side as Jackson goes at it and loses out ever so slightly from the number 1 car there of Rian Draper. Draper running the number 1 plate after taking last year's championship, and certainly has got what it takes here to stay in amongst these guys. They really hold nothing back. Little TT starting to get in its own and hopefully going to have a shot at going higher up. Draper still keeps him at bay for now though, as they come out of the big right-hander. It's a left-hander now that they're heading into, and Draper just holding that line perfectly, trying to get into the slipstream of the big 300Z. Briet is not a bad car to follow onto that back straight. Oh, Briet has a little bit of an issue. Briet pulls to the sideline, that opens up the door, and Jackson says thanks very much. He didn't miss a gear. A little bit of evasive driving caught out Draper, and Draper unfortunately loses out 2 positions there, as we see Briet slowly but surely making his way down that back straight, but not the kind of pace that he would like to be in, that is for sure. He's got some problems, and he's now going to have to go into pit lane and get them sorted for race 2. He didn't even make it to pit lane. He's parked on the sideline in the middle of that back straightaway. So Jacobs now leading things out. How far back is Jackson? He's right there, but he's got 2 cars to take into account. One of them is JP. JP Nokia all over the back of the number 2 car of Jacobs. And Marius Jacobs now looking in the rearview mirrors and thinking to himself, well, hang on a second. There was 1 car and here comes the second one. Hopefully you're not going to have to fight these guys all the way around for the next couple of laps. We've lost JP. JP's gone missing. JP's made a mistake somewhere and he's dropped down to 3rd place. You can see just a slight mistake. It's just dropped him out of contention for the win. But if something goes wrong with these 2, there's still a possibility of him stealing it. Double left into the short right and very tight right-hander that takes them onto the main straight to complete the lap. JP Nokia trying to find a way through, but he cannot just bridge that gap. Draper battling a little bit as well. Also just sickling a little bit with some issues and having to pull into pit lane. I thought so. The car definitely wasn't going the way it was earlier on. Now, as we get into the closing stages, it is Jacobs from Jackson. Adrian Dalton now starting to come into play right in the closing stages, and all of a sudden he's in with a shot. Dalton's had a busy day today. Not only in the Super Saloons, but of course we've just seen him in the NPCs as well, doing a great job at the front end. And he's back at the front end again in that extra shoes and clothing golf. Here comes Jackson. Jackson looking to dive. Can he make it? No, he can't. He was looking for that door to be opened up, and Marius Jacobs just said, no ways. You're going to have to work harder than that. Look at how hard they're battling as they get onto that back straightaway now. It's Slipstream City. Let's see if the Audi can use the slipstream and get through on the Tigra. I don't think he's going to be able to. No, Jacobs keeps him at bay and just defends. Oh, a little bit of rubbing there. Little touches that came out of that left-hander onto the twisties. And whoo, Jacobs very lucky to survive there. Jackson now under attack. Oh, and Dalton is sideways. Dalton gets it all lit up, trying to find a way through. He carried massive corner speed. He's now trying to dive on the inside. Can he make it stick? The bonnet clip has come loose ever so slightly, but it's getting into the closing stages and across the line. Eventually, look at that. All 4 cars in the top 4, split by less than half a second. Amazing stuff. Jacobs taking it from Jackson and Dalton for Class Bs. Darby Farie eventually went out the Class Cs ahead of Cooley and Draper. And Pete Nokia taking the Ds.
Excited. It was a nice battle. That's what we wanted. So yeah, glad to be first, but it was a nice battle. Glad JP and the RS is joining us. Excited for that. Let's see the second hit, see what's happening.
It wasn't an awesome one, but the race started off very well. We got some places up and got the car to run good. But 2 laps before the end, I've got an oil light that came on, and yeah, the bearing on the engine run. So yeah, we're out for the next race. But yeah, we'll be back at Swartkops for more.
The number 1 plate is such a heavy plate to have, and Draper, as you saw and heard, having some issues there. Hopefully we'll get it sorted out for the next round of action. But this is the next race of the day. And once again, we've got JP Nokia fighting it out and fighting hard up front there with Jacobs. Dalton in third. Behind him, it's Jackson. And Maurice Jackson now under a bit of attack from a car that we didn't really see in the first heat, but Richard Cooley not too far off the back end, looking to close down for what is 5th place. Just behind him, keep an eye out on Piet Nokia, Corey Volschenk as well. Unfortunately, we don't see Yannick Breert back on track, so 2 of our top contenders out of this first heat, and now not able to compete in the second heat of the racing day here today at Midvaal. So head down that back straight away. Dalton closing in on JP. JP going defensive. Dalton hasn't quite got enough to close in into the slipstream effect, but he's going to have to be careful because Jackson has. Jackson is right there with him and trying to use that extra shoes Golf to get through. He closes down. You can see through the twisties here, those 2 cars very evenly matched in terms of their handling ability. And as they come out to complete another lap, it's Jackson who's closed down in the Mega Fiber Audi TT. First and second, very much up for grabs, fighting hard. Third and fourth place, fighting just as hard. And even a little bit further back in the field, you can see here, little fight at the back end, still maintaining some great pace and a little bit of fun and games as well for Corey Volschenk. Volschenk now looking for a way through and trying to find an opportunity to get through on Piet Nokia. It's a battle for 6th and 7th on track, so we've literally got 2 by 2 as they fight through the field. The first 2 cars fighting hard, and further back in the field also just as hectic a battle. Not quite on the same kind of pace as these 2, but definitely having a great time of it nonetheless. And the 2 space frames going at it here. It's the Opel Tigra versus the Volkswagen Corrado, and those 2 space frames in terms of power output very even, and driver ability also just as good as each other as they get onto the back straight now. Now it's slipstream time. No one could really beat Jacobs in the first one, and he's got, oh, look at that, JP falling by the wayside ever so slightly. Might be a problem there on JP's car. JP being caught and passed by Dalton. And Dalton now up in the 2nd place. Adrian Dalton could potentially win this one out. Look at the kind of, the corner speed that he carries, and his ability through this twisty section is so much better. I don't know what he's done with that Golf, but it's definitely working well. And he could potentially be in with a shot of taking the win. Let's see if Jacobs can keep him at bay. Coming into the back markers. They both dive onto the inside. In fact, all 3, and JP's slowing up. JP's got a bit of a problem in the background there. Looks like he might be having some issues. And he just gets past the back marker. It's not that bad that he can't get past the back marker, but he's a lot slower than what the first 2 cars are doing right now. Jacobs trying to defend, trying to just keep everybody else at bay. He did this for about 4 laps in race number 1, as we've just seen. Can he do the same thing here, or is the pressure eventually going to pay off? The pressure is mounting, and it's being applied big time by Dalton. Dalton now going to try and put the power down onto the back straight. Has he got the additional power? Can he find a way past that space frame? Power to weight ratio on that car is probably what's going to keep him out. And Dalton slows. Dalton slows up now and allows Jackson through. So, not quite sure what's happening here, but these guys are chopping and changing in positions that they don't normally have to fight out for. Coming up on another one of the back markers on Volschenk, I think. Corey Volschenk will realize these guys are coming. Hopefully get completely out the way and allow them to dive on the inside. He does that. Great driving there from the back marker, holding his line until he got out the way and allows these guys to come flying through. Jackson now looking for a chance to take the lead as they go down towards turn 1. Maurice Jackson having a look, doesn't quite make it thick. In the background, Dalton goes defensive. Looks like JP sorted out whatever issues he had, and he's coming back. So it's 2 Volkswagens now. Well, Volkswagen Space Frame taking on the Golf ahead of the 2 battling at the front here, and the Space Frame Opel Tigra fighting hard against that TT. Hardy Man is looking for a chance. He battled all of race 1, he couldn't find a way through. So we know that Jacobs can keep it all together, and Jacobs makes a mistake. Oh, Jacobs got a problem. Hand up, Jacobs got a problem. There's an opportunity. The door opens wide, and up on the inside goes JP. So whatever that issue was, he slowed up, and it's allowed both JP and Dalton to get through. And it looks like a little thumbs up there from Marius, just saying, listen, I saw what was happening. Thanks for the arm up. Sorry about the bump. Now let's go fighting. So Dalton now leads out. JP Nokia in 2nd. And it looks like, unfortunately, Maurice Jackson is too far away now to make any inroads for the top 2. A bit of smoke coming out of JP's car. I was watching that earlier on. I wonder if that could be a terminal issue, or is he going to be able to survive this 2nd heat of the Motul Super Saloons. Come across the line. It's Dalton taking the flag. Dalton wins out. So opportune driving there from Dalton as he hits the brakes late into turn 1. taking him to the win of Class B and the overall for the day as well. JP Nokia ahead of Marius Jackson. Cooley taking C's and Pete Nokia taking the D's.
I'm a little bit sad because I drove into Mars. We had an accident, so JP and Adrian passed us. Otherwise, if that didn't happen, Mars would have been first again and I mean second. So no accidents do happen, and I do have to apologize for him onto that. So yeah, but otherwise we had an excellent race.
Richard Upton isn't back to defend his INEX Legends title this year. Who will come to the fore of the series?
This is arguably one of the most competitive categories in the country, and the INEX Legends have certainly put on great shows wherever they go. Got a couple of new drivers joining us. Jason Loosemore makes a welcome return, and a big debut for Jagger Robertson in his first outing in the Legends category. Heading down into turn number 1 now, you can see they'll just start to sort things out right from the word go. And it's not going to be an easy day in the saddle, particularly for the rookies, as they get in amongst Charles Roux, who is looking for an opportunity to get to the front. Cara Roux at this stage leads things out. You can see Charles on his tail and on board here. Oof, so close. Great to see the action right from the word go there from the AutoZone car. And you can see it's not going to be an easy day in the saddle as they all get in to the usual mix. And when I say the usual mix, there's normally about 4 or 5 cars that can go side by side through a corner. And that's what we're expecting to see as we get into this first heat of the day. All evenly matched, running motorcycle engines, of course Yamaha 1100s down into the end of that back straightaway. And on those motorcycle engines, probably going to be over the 220 km/h mark as they come onto the breakers and down the gearbox to come into this twisty section. Great driving, a little bit of wide angles from a couple of drivers, not quite the way you want to be going through there, opening up a couple of doors. Ian Upton just losing out a couple of positions as they went a little bit haywire through there, not kind of the lines you want to be holding. Back to see, you can see Jagger Robertson in there fighting with Chris Hoy, and around the outside now looking for opportunities as they come. This is a super start there from the 3 car. Unruh Stadler, Stompy's trying to get through and he gets sideways. That's how we expect the racing to happen in the INEX Legends. Sideways as much as you can get, and it's foot flat pretty much all the way through this lap. A couple of gear changes here and there. Van der Venter hanging on for a 3rd spot at this stage, but Unruh is coming. Stadler is slowly but surely cutting his way through the field. He's up to 4th. He finds his way past on the Liqui car there of Justin Robertson, and Robertson now trying to go with him. Not a bad option to run with Stadler. 2 of them coming together and now trying to work together as they come onto the back end of the 25 car of Van der Venter. Oh, that's a big one. Van der Venter and Unruh coming together on the main straight and taken out dramatically there. Johan van der Venter, I think, was trying to avoid Unruh Stadler coming through. The 2 of them clipped and they both ended up on the sideline. Not the way one wants to race, that's for sure. And I'm sure Stompy won't be happy about that. I don't think Johan meant that one. He was probably just trying to get out the way, realizing the quicker cars were coming. Race incident there, and hopefully we'll get sorted out afterwards. Probably a yellow card there for Van der Venter though. The 68 car of Cara Roux now continues the fight. He's in the mix there with Jason Loosemore. And Loosemore, of course, as I said, a welcome return. Has had a couple of runs previously in INEX Legends, but has mainly made his name in the oval track racing. This is Justin Robertson's point of view as they come up, and this is potentially for the lead at the end of the straight. Yes, he's just going to go for it. No, he just squeezes out and finds a way past. But Justin Robertson now has got a lot of work to do if he wants to catch Charles Roux. Charles Roux has up and ducked at the front end. He's not going to be an easy man to catch. And I'm sure that you can see just ahead, the flag will be waiting. Just tried hard. Robertson has to settle for 2nd place though. And Van Heerden will come through for 3rd place, which means that Roux, Robertson and Van Heerden also take the Masters category. Semi-Pros goes to Jason Loosemore. Great effort there from Unruh to take the Class Ps, even though he'd been forced off. And Jagger takes the Young Lions.
Very happy with how the first race went. We set out last year, had a bit of work to do and stuff like that, but we really missed riding the Legends. The Legends are good fun to ride, so I'm looking forward to a good season, and that was a good way to start it.
It's a great way to start. A little bit down on numbers, but I'm sure they're going to increase every time they get racing. There's a couple of guys that come from Natal. There's a couple of guys that are going to get cars all sorted out for the next heat of racing that heads into the next round of this Inland Championship as well. But this time out, keep an eye out to the front end. It's the AutoZone car that's under yellow. I think Johan van der Venter really didn't mean anything there. It was definitely not a nasty move. I think they just came together there and a little racing incident between him and Stompy Stadler. Unruh at this stage sitting in 3rd place and already starting to attack. Oh, wow! Great catch there. Chris Hoy absolutely lit coming onto the back straight away, and he managed to just catch it on the grass and bring it onto the off the dirty stuff, onto the black stuff. Only just. Speaking of just, it is Justin Robertson who leads out at this stage. And he's being helped out here big time by the 27 car of Ian Upton, who is holding, or he was holding, not quite holding up completely the attack coming from Stadler, but Stadler definitely on a flyer here, looking to make up some ground. Sideways action as always. You can see Upton now going on attack. Loosemore right behind him. Jason Loosemore looking for opportunities if there are any. And then Van der Venter followed by Roux. Charles Roux at the front end. Gerard Roux in the mid-pack. And they're all fighting for opportunities here and, of course, for wins. Wins are most important right now. This championship in the past couple of seasons has gone down to the wire and has only been won by a couple of points at every single turn. And it's going to be very difficult if you're losing out right from the word go to make up the ground, particularly on guys who are as consistent as Justin Robertson in the Big Boss and Liqui Moly sponsored car. You can see now this little second place battle is slowing them up ever so slightly. Loosemore, Charles Roux, Van der Venter, Jagger Robertson also not too far off the back end of this one. He's leading the second half of this pack. And as they start to mix it up here a little bit, Stompy just seems to have a bit of an issue. It's not quite the kind of pace he wants out of that car. You can see he's not even finding a way past on Loosemore. Oh, there's a problem. Car on the sideline, potentially a safety car situation coming out here. Let's have a look and see if that's going to actually happen. But as they head down here, these guys continuing to race. Let's see, guys, well, I would say Roux actually had his arm up there, so I'm wondering if he was putting his arm up to warn the guys that there was a bit of an issue, or just letting them through. I think he just let them through. Stompy now fighting with Loosemore. Loosemore, loose as you like, coming into the big left-hander there. And now coming through onto the main straight again to start another lap. Jason Loosemore onto the back end of Stadler. Stadler fighting hard there with Roux. Safety car is out, or potentially out. I don't think they've seen the safety car boards though. These guys are continuing to race. Oh, there's a big incident there. Yeah, they didn't see that, that's for sure. And Stadler going right onto the inside of Van Heerden. Van Heerden now out of it, Stadler out of it as well. Probably both going to get back on track to complete the lap. But they're going to finish the race under safety car conditions, even though the safety car wasn't deployed. So Justin Robertson is going to take the win ahead of Jason Loosemore and Charles Roux overall. But there you can see in terms of the classes, Robertson takes the win and Roux and Van der Venter come through for third. And it's Loosemore who wins out the semi-pros.
First time on the podium, so that's nice. Nice to be racing with Big Boss. They've given me an awesome car. So we've proved it in the second heat that we can run on the top. And that's how we will keep this, the rest of the day going.
Final heat of action down towards turn 1, AR 3x3. That's what we want to see in INEX Legends. Don't expect anything less than that. Probably going to go 5x5 when we get to the slightly bigger tracks, but great racing nonetheless for a fantastic start to the season here for the INEX Legends. Justin Robertson fighting there with Van Heerden. Van Heerden's car is back and up and running again, so it looks like there wasn't much damage there. One car I don't see in the pack is Unruh Stadler. So issues there for Stompy as he unfortunately couldn't make it out for the third and final heat. That means he's got two DNFs on the day, which is not a great way to start the season, particularly if he wants to take that number 1 plate at the end of this championship. Right now, out front, Upton leading things and already under threat from Roux. Roux looking for a chance early on to squeeze past. He's being fought hard by Loosemore, who comes around the outside of both of them. Van der Venter also under attack there. And slowly but surely making his way through is Van Heerden. Van Heerden's bringing Justin Robertson along for the ride. 6 cars, and all of them exceptionally evenly matched as they come through the left-handers and the twisty bits. Coming out of that section now, into the main straight again. Justin Robertson dives onto the inside and tucks in behind Van Heerden. He realizes Van Heerden might just be able to do a blocking roll for him and get him back to the front. And that's exactly what he's expecting. 27 though is Ian Upton. And right now Upton is keeping everybody else at bay. He's actually slowing up the pack and bringing them all together. Almost like a concertina effect there. On his tail is Loosemore. Van der Venter on his tail. So let's see if there's a double slipstream effect that could play here. Jason Loosemore pulls out the slipstream. Goes alongside the 27 car. Upton loses out. Down the back straight. They come under braking. Look at Van Heerden. Van Heerden's around the outside of 2 cars. Roux and Van der Venter losing out to Van Heerden and to Robertson as the two of them carry the corner speed around the outside of that turn off the back straight. So a change up. 3 and 4 were Roux and Van der Venter. It's now Van Heerden and Robertson. And they're both on the attack immediately onto the back end of Upton. Just in the back of that, you can keep an eye on Gerard Roux and of course Chris Hoy. Hoy in the mix there. just behind them, Jagger Robertson. Jagger Robertson, for his first time out, the youngster is doing a great job there, and part of the Young Lions development part of this category. Certainly got a big campaign happening over the next couple of race meetings if he's able to run with these guys so early on. Here we go, back through the big left, through the right, heading back onto the left-hander again. Another big left-hander that takes them onto this back straight. And Upton just going defensive, not allowing Justin Robertson any sniff of that inside line. Robertson now going to use the slipstream. Looks like Rue's going to try and do a double slipstream there, and Van der Venter going with him. The AutoZone car on the back end of Rue. And it looks like Justin Robertson has been able to drive past and around the outside again of Upton. So that's 2 outside maneuvers in two laps by Justin Robertson. Has he got enough? Yes, he has. Look at how he closes on Van Heerder. Van Heerder is in trouble and Robertson is coming. And keep an eye out on Jason Loosemore, who's currently leading, but he could be in big trouble here as well. This is Robertson's point of view. He's got the one slip. He pulls out of that one slip. He's going to go for a double slipstream effector. Wow, that's brilliant. Brilliant driving from Justin Robertson. Uses the one slipstream out of Van Heerder to close in on the leader, and then uses the leader to take the lead down that back straight. There's enough place, there's enough room, and definitely enough track to play with there. Justin Robertson showing that he's had a couple of laps around Midvaal in the past, knowing exactly where to put that car, how to use the slipstream and take the lead and potentially take the win. Out of the right-hander, they come across the line. The flag is waiting. It is going to be Robertson. He takes the win ahead of Loosemore and Van Heerder, but what a battle between those three, especially on that last lap down the back straight. Robertson, Van Heerder and Rue, the top in the Masters. Jason Loosemore wins out the semi-pros ahead of Chris Hoy, and once again it's Jagger Robertson who takes the Young Lions. Watch out for that man in his future.
That's a wrap for this show. Remember to keep up to date with EV Dynamics Inland Championships via our website, Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. I'm Nicole Kappa. Until next time, goodbye.